Well, you know what I mean here. Suki is bad as Nish. No, 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 no. Hold your horses. Hold your fire. She's not as bad as Nish. Nish, as the
No.
first comment sums up, budget front 1324. That's my passcode. Nish is a murderer and a rapist. That literally sums up the video. We'll see you next time. See you later. Bye bye.
See ya. Bye bye. Cheers for the
Fucking-
fucking 2 cents, homie.
But for this video,
It's an interesting thing because as of the last week or so, we've had the thing where Suki has tried to break the cycle. She's tried to break the cycle of abuse. Nish has lashed out again, endangering his family, and is trying to once again take control. But when fucking Ravi catches Nish about to gut Vinny like a fucking fish, rhyming. When he's about to gut him like a fucking fish, Ravi just goes, "Yeah, but you're just as bad though," and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Nish has murdered a man. As said before, he sexually assaulted Suki, and he has coercively controlled her for years. But she's somehow just as bad. Like, I don't get along with this. I don't. It's like Nish is much worse.
I can run through this easily from my knowledge. So Nish has been abusive since he first met Suki. Back in, I'm gonna say, the late 80s, maybe late 70s, early 80s, maybe 90s, pushing it. And
I mean, they were married for a while, and then Andy went to prison in I don't even remember. But yeah, it's been he was in prison for 20 years.
About 02 then. Basically, Nish found Suki having an affair. Well, he thought she had an affair with another man, so he killed him. Later found out that obviously she was not sleeping with a man. She was sleeping with a woman.
I mean, it was more like an emotional affair.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, and he basically then he tried to control her. He did that when he first came out of prison, and then we've slowly seen his brain slowly turn on him. But he's trying to get control over Suki. He's murdered a man. He has forced his son Ravi to lie to the police about the murder that Ravi did to Ravi's father. He also lied to the police. He covered up the murder. He also got Eve nearly killed because he told Ravi to kill her. He also on Christmas Day locked Suki in the house, lied that one of her kids were having a heart attack or something, took them. He lied about Finny being in trouble or something, forced her back to the house, and then tried to lock her away in the house so he can control her until Ravi fucking. I don't know why they're Bowser grunt there, but still, one of those uniflus. And then he basically followed her to the fic, and then he obviously asked you want to do the impression that Denise does to Nish in this scene.
What the hell, fucking?
Yeah, that.
Is it not Kathy?
It's either Kathy or Denise. I think it's Kathy.
I mean, Kathy smashed him over the head with a bottle, so.
Denise smashed him over the head with a bottle. Suki revives him. He fucks off for a little bit. He then comes back. It's revealed he's dying.
Yeah.
And his dying wish is that he wants to be with Suki. Obviously, if you can guess, he doesn't want to be with Suki. He just wants to fuck her over. So he's trying.
He just wants to control her.
He's trying to fuck her over any obstacle he can. I love this one because of how outlandish it is, but it is funny to me in a sense. He obviously sleeps with Priya because Priya's trying to sleep with him so she can get into the will because that will's worth money. And he lies to
businesses he stole from Suki, of course.
Yeah, and he lies, and as Nugget is coming home, he has a heart attack, and Nish says that Priya was sleeping with him, and that's why she couldn't save her son. Also, he has later tried to kill Finny, and he's from what I assume is going to burn the Minute Mark down with Finny in it.
But Suki's just as bad as Nish, of course. All of those horrific things all the horrific things that Nish has done, Suki is worse because I mean, she has done some bad things. She did lie to all her kids about having cancer. She set up Jags to go to prison for a thing that Vinny did. And with her feud with Ben, it resulted. Oh, I think it was Kirat's feud or being with Sharon. It resulted in Jags dying because he needed protection. And she was a cold-hearted bitch for the bulk of the first time she was here. But like, she has been controlling, but she's never been as bad as Nish. She has never been as outlandish as Nish has been. And it's a weird stance to take because I firmly disagree. And I don't know. Obviously I understand that the Panesars as a family, they have still bought into Nish and they believe that he's telling the truth. But Nish is much more damaging than anybody else has ever been, and his actions have fucking caused like irreversible pain to the family. And it's just him trying to desperately control them, even if there's fucking like at everybody else's cost. Like Vinny would be dead had he have not been stopped. But Suki, I don't get it.
And Suki hasn't done much as bad as Nish, but she's done some. She's not as bad in comparison. I'm just gonna read this out now. So good. Within 1776 says Suki lied about having cancer, got her son sent down for a crime he didn't commit at all, because he was seeing someone she didn't approve of, and left Nish to die. But she's treated like a victim, and she's no better than Nish. I mean, it is wrong that she let her ex-husband die, but at the same time, he was manipulative. It's not the right thing to do, but in that instance,
I mean, it's about being able to break the cycle of abuse, right?
Yeah.
If Nish dies, then it's over. She doesn't have to deal with them anymore. Her family's not going to have to deal with them anymore. It's over. She's finally been able to move on with her life. With Nish, that constant nagging threat in the background, he's finally done, and she would have been able to move on. She would have felt guilt about it. Fucking definitely would have. But at the end of the day, with everything Nish has done to Suki and the family, I think it's quite reasonable that she would have wanted him to die.
I'll obviously read the first comment again by Budget Front 1324, my password. Nish, a murderer and a rapist. No. And this got... I don't know if I can read this, but fucking Ash can do this if it needs to be edited out. This next guy...
That just don't even need to do it. Someone doesn't understand.
Yeah, someone doesn't understand.
Someone is... someone's misunderstanding that coercion is assault.
Redeemable versus irredeemable, that's the issue. Nobody thinks that she's an angel. However, the table scene pretty much showed the difference. Suki sat down alone at the table. Her abusers said she was willing to call truce for the sake of her family. Nish did not want that. Also, in the last scenes, told this man that she's going to live her life and that she will back off while he says his goodbyes, and that he needs to live out the rest of his days in peace. Even then, you can see the wheels turning in his head. Hurt people. Abuse is a cycle. I believe for the sake of her family, he's choosing to stop that cycle. Nish, on the other hand, can't be saved and wants to continue the cycle. I'm also sorry there is no way people are expecting that woman not to fight back, so I will respectfully disagree that there is a difference. How many more times am I going to say this? I'll check before I die. I can understand feeling like Suki's evil past is often forgotten, and she hasn't faced the full consequences of action. But say she is as bad as her abuser, someone who's murdered and attempted to murder innocent people and show no remorse or character development is just bizarre to me. Yeah, Suki is sexually harassed only than blackmailers, just as bad. And this goes on go right. Let's move on. Sorry guys.
It's a bit of a muddy thread. It's a bit of a muddy thread with a lot of anus shit being mentioned.
I'm glad
someone
thinks so. Oh, I thought I was the only one. Never liked her, never will. Don't forget, ran her.
I mean, that's just the BBC EastEnders subreddit to a T. Never liked her, never will. Don't watch her scenes though. Fucking 8 penny that bitch. Do you watch her scenes? Nah, I skipped it every time since she's been on. So you've never given her a chance though. Nah.
I will read this.
Didn't earn it.
Don't forget, ran her daughter off for being gay despite being gay herself, and had another song called to cover up her involvement in a crime she didn't do. I can excuse running off the daughter for being gay, because usually if a bully bullies someone for being gay, chances are they are gay. Oh, you like dick, you homo? Oh, you look fucking sexy. Oh, I fucking tight
I bet
jeans,
you like
man.
tight, juicy dicks in your mouth. You're gay. It's like, okay, sound.
You know what I mean? It's just usually people who bully people for being gay are likely gay, or they have some more skeletons in their brain.
Especially in soaps, it is often portrayed as there being a. It's usually like a cycle of hatred where so many different gay characters who were closeted and very upset that they were gay do lash out towards other people if they compromise their position. Suki did it, Ben did it, Johnny did it. It happens a lot in soap.
And this is on about bully or fire honey at the Minimat. I'm just gonna read on because unless you want me to read this, I can.
Fuck it, I'll just skim through this fucking thing. Didn't Suki fire or bully Honey at the mini-mart if she turned her down too? I agree that Suki has done some really terrible things, but was that all her true identity, or was it a lifetime of dealing with Nish? There is a saying that those who live with a narcissist end up getting narcissist fleas, where they themselves start behaving the same way. I believe this is true of Suki, and that her entire identity is coming out has been warped by Nish, and now she is truly coming out, as shown by her relationship with Eve. That's an interesting one. That's an interesting point. I do kind of like it. It does make a lot of sense. Like I said, some the worst. It's why everybody suggests you cut the toxic things out your life, because if someone is that toxic, it can reflect on you. It can turn you into a bitter person, and it can affect you for the worse. And that is definitely the case for Suki. Yeah, I thought the whole point of Daddy Panesar reveal was to understand how and why Suki became the way she did. I mean, it's why she was there to. It's why she tried to kind of. It's why she was very harsh with her kids. She was very harsh with her kids because she had a whole marriage, a whole life, a whole family life that divorce is frowned upon in their religion. It's a whole fucking thing that she was supposed to be loyal to a man who killed someone out of a jealous rage, and she was having an emotional affair with a woman. And she therefore raised the kids to be pretty fucking stern, pretty stoic, don't really want to give any shit away. I will kind of belittle you so you eventually so you aren't weak as such, because weak people are picked on in a sense. And then someone continues. It's literally the whole point of Nish's existence on the show. Lol, he exists to elaborate on Suki's story, especially being introduced after her turning point to post Jags to show why she was the way she was. It was a sole purpose. He's got nothing outside of Suki. Exactly. Well, I absolutely agree that he's featured too much. He's been the orbit Suki and Eve story for way too much or way too long. People who say Suki and Eve can't exist without him make me laugh. They're both established characters before he showed up and have several dimensions and therefore longevity. Not entirely established without each other, let's be honest. Their main storylines are establishing each other as characters and a relationship. They aren't entirely three-dimensional otherwise, let's be honest. Like their breakout storyline was their relationship. Let's not act otherwise. They're both established character. Nish literally has torment Suki because he's an abusive, narcissistic prick as his whole existence. Takes Suki and playing mind games with a family away from him. Like, what does he have left to contribute? I get that people appreciate Nav and his mostly great acting too, but people who think there's any sort of longevity to Nish as a character has me scratching my head, unless it's purely to watch Suki being tormented ad infinitum. Fucking hell, I forget how this job's fucking difficult. And that's a whole other set of questions, really. Interesting take, and I think that's the final point of this video. I agree. One thing I will say, and I'm glad we were both pretty on the record by saying, it would have been a shame if had Nish have died at Christmas, because there was an extra, there was a lot more mileage in Nish as a character. But I also echo the sentiment that Nish was always going to die or leave.
Sorry,
Right.
just want to read this by Green on 84. She did indeed fire Honey, and before we all forget, because it's easy, she also helped cover up a murder and attempted murder at Christmas. That storyline has bombed, in my opinion, after a promising start.
I mean, people hate the Six storyline like it owes them money. So I enjoyed it personally, and I don't think we're at the end yet. So, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm glad that we got more time with Nish, as his character is very interesting. He's played by a great actor, and he does a really good job in the role. Yes, it does get a bit tiring to constantly see the cycle abuse that Nish inflicts on Suki and the family, but in the end of the day, he will be dying pretty soon. So, I think it's a really interesting one. It's a really good way to depict how a character would be like this with actually being able to, like, because Suki started as an ice queen, and when Nish arrived, just like Linda was a fucking bitch of a character for 10 years until Elaine arrived. Suddenly Elaine gets all the bad characteristic that makes Linda so fucking despised. That's what happened with Nish and Suki. Suki was a cold-hearted cow and was a terrible person, but when Nish came out of prison, suddenly Nish was all of those parts and worse, making her not have to be as frosty, not have to be as much of a piece of shit, and was able to actually show that she does care for her family and she does genuinely love them. That is how it worked. And it's added a very interesting way to the character, and I think it's been genuinely very good, and I'll appreciate it the entire time, and I will mourn the day that Nish dies on the show, as it means that Navin Chowdhury will no longer be a part of it. But to say his impact on the show has been pretty great, and I think it's been pretty tremendous. But at the end of the day, Suki is by no means worse than Nish at all.
No, and I guess without further ado, we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.